storage part was available with private systems also. I mean, physical system also, right? Like your VMware infra or your normal physical infra, even they had the storage options. Then why are we looking at cloud?
I think maybe cost. I mean, the infrastructure that you need to have the storage that you're was just talking about, like what's available now. You need data centers, and it's not very
Mhm.
portable. It takes a long time to set up. You need a lot of power. It takes quite a lot to get going. And so I think with the cloud, you can deploy a solution.
Coming back, you guys are absolutely right. And the most important thing is cost, because of which people have started moving towards cloud. And the most important thing is reusability. I know this term looks very weird in terms of IT world, but what do you think reusability could be? Cloud also plays an important role with reusability. What do you think that could be? Uh, I gave you a project to build a server to host an application. This is a high-end server. After the project is completed, what will happen to the infrastructure?
You will gain access.
Okay. And see, you are the project owner. You purchase a hardware today for you got a project. Based on the project what you received, you purchased a new hardware, you went ahead and then configured the application, and it had a lot of high writes coming in, so you had a database configured, you have built in everything. And after that is done, let's say after 3 years the project gets completed and it's no longer required for us. In this case, now understand the timelines. 3 years. After 3 years, will this infra be usable for you? You have a physical infrastructure that is purchased explicitly for this project, and then you have built the project, you have completed the project, and then it is under production. Okay, so come back to the question. Now, you have a physical infra, you have deployed your systems, you have deployed your server, everything. The project goes on for 3 or 4 years, and after that, the project is no longer with the company what you're working on, or the project is completely closed. So in this scenario, what will happen to the physical hardware what you have purchased? Okay, let me simplify this for you. You purchase an iPhone 16, and the warranty, the guarantee, or the upgrades what iPhone supports is, let's say, for 4 versions. You purchase it when it is on iPhone 13, iOS 13, and the current version is iOS 18. So as per iPhone policies or Apple policies, any phone, any device will have only up to 4 OS upgrades. So you have purchased it when it was iOS 13, and now it is iOS 18, so you have crossed it, so you'll not be able to upgrade the phone. So what will you do with this device? Now it's not under warranty. It can go down anytime. If you have any problems, there will not be any fixes given to you. So what will happen to this device in your hand?
You
It's
exchange
useless
it.
now.
Yeah.
Sorry,
It's useless, or
it's
as Peter.
useless. Wow, I was just waiting for this word for a long time. It's useless. So the same thing is applicable with your infrastructure also. So you guys might have heard, right? The Intel chipsets like i6, i7, i8, i9. You guys heard about it? Whenever you
Yes.
purchase your laptops, we say i7 laptop, i8 laptop, i9 laptop kind of things, right?
Yes,
So what is that used for?
that's processor, right? For the
Yes,
processor.
yes. So even when you purchase a server, we look at the processor. Am I right? And these processors allow us to perform multiple operations at the same time. Otherwise, do you really want a server to do certain things? Yes, no, maybe.
No.
No. So now, with if at all we're talking about physical infrastructure, and after 3 years, the project gets completed, or the hardware vendor says there is no more support for this hardware, then as an organization, you have to purchase a new inventory or a new hardware. Am I correct?
Yes.
So whenever that keeps happening, are you not increasing the operating cost for the companies because they have to reinvest on infrastructure to maintain the projects? So all these things were shooting up very high for the customers, or I would say for the organizations who are supporting these projects, just to ensure that it is not going to cause a major problem, or it is not going, or if I have to put it in a way, just to ensure that this specific expenses are not going to overshoot for the organizations. People started moving into cloud. So now with cloud, do we have our own database? Sorry, do we have our own data center?
No.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
You can.
So we don't have, right?
You
Do we
can't.
make?
I mean, I would think so.
No. The answer is 99% no.
Okay.
Only few organizations or financial institutions like banks, if they say they want to deploy a private cloud, we'll talk about private cloud in a minute, but if they say that I want to deploy a private cloud, and they would say that all the infra or all the data center is going to be given to me for my safety and security concerns, then they would have their own data center built in their own premises. Otherwise, everything is taken care by the specific cloud vendor. It could be AWS, Azure, or GCP, Google. So one, you don't have your own DC. Then what is the other benefit we have? No need to worry about,
Downtime.
sorry,
I was going to say downtime
downtime, right? And why do you think you don't need to worry about downtime?
because
Because you're not responsible for the maintenance any longer.
That is, I mean, I would say yes and no, but predominantly being AWS admins or Azure admins or GCP admins tomorrow down the line, you should not say that it is not my responsibility. It is the hardware is not your responsibility, but you are deploying the instances, and that is your responsibility to take care that they are online. Agreed?
yes,
Because otherwise, we join an organization AWS admin. So what will be our role there? If you say downtime maintenance is not my role, then what else do we have as a role here? Making sense?
yes.
If you have any questions, please ask me. I have no problem in explaining it again and again.
Well, I don't understand when you're saying what is our role as the AWS admin? If isn't that person's role the maintenance?
Yes. See, okay, very good question. So now I do not know exactly what background you all of you guys are in, but let me ask you this question. As a server admin, in general, if you're aware of a Linux administrator or a Unix administrator or a Windows administrator, what is the profile here?
Can you
What does
repeat that?
Okay, if you are a server admin, which could be Linux admin or a Windows admin, so what will be the responsibility of that employee?
To manage. Oh, you say of the employee, or
Yes,
man
you are hired as a Linux admin. So what will be your responsibilities?
to manage the environment. Yeah, to
Mhm.
manage the environment. To manage the resources.
What resources are we talking about here?
We're talking about compute.
Very good.
Mm-hmm.
Let me change this to manage the compute resource. Manage the compute. Okay, fair enough.
Okay.
So this is good enough for me. Now, what do you think a cloud admin does then?
I would say the same, right?
Yes. So the only difference that I have between these two profiles is the server admin is worried about the physical infrastructure also. When I say manage the environment, it includes physical servers, right? Whereas when I
Yeah.
say cloud admin, I don't have to manage them.
Right.
If your server is down, if there's a hardware problem, let's say your memory is not working, if the server goes down, in a server admin profile, it is your responsibility to call the vendors, pick up, arrange an on-site visit, blah blah blah, and get this resolved. So that is your responsibility. Whereas when it comes to a cloud admin, if something goes down, we only maximum let AWS know it is not working, and these kind of scenarios do not happen with cloud. If something goes wrong, they will be notified even before we are notified, and then they start taking actions on it. So you do not worry about the infrastructure management. You worry about the application, database, and other things that are hosted on your server management. Make sense?
Yes.
Yes.
And
Yes.
the second thing, let us say you are working on a project, and when you design the project, you cannot design the project on a very long scale, like after 5 years what will happen from a project, correct?
Mhm.
So you design a project. Let's take an example of, you might have seen the Amazon sale day. Now, will Amazon sale day happen every week or every month? Not really, correct?
Not really. Right. Not really.
This might happen once in 3 months or once in 6 months, or at a max 3 or 4 times in a year, correct?
Correct. Correct.
So now, can Amazon say, okay, I might be having a sale day once or twice in a year, and reserve compute for such a huge trading for the entire year? Are you getting my question?
Yeah. So you're
Yeah.
Yes.
saying planning for
mean-
the
They,
resources.
Okay, can
mean,
one of you go at a time?
I wouldn't say so. Not for the whole year. I wouldn't say they would say that.
Okay, so let's say we have, you're right, we have 4 Amazon days, Amazon sale days. So these 4 days, I might need additional compute. Am I correct?
Yes.
Do you guys agree with this statement? And for the other 360 days, I might not need additional compute, right?
Correct.
Now, my question is, if I'm going to reserve the entire additional, if I'm going to deploy my systems with this additional compute for the whole year, what will happen?
It'll be wasted resources, right?
Very good. Waste of resources. And is that the only thing?
waste of resources and money.
Increase in cost. Do you agree that I'm increasing my cost? Yes, no,
Yes.
maybe.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. And why do you think?
Because it's not in use.
Perfect. So I have deployed something. Let's say you are a passionate driver. You go and buy a Ferrari. But if you're going to drive it only once in a year, do you really want to purchase it, or you can even rent it out for that one day, correct?
Correct.
So rather than keeping it in your garage just for showcase kind of a thing, investing millions of dollars for buying a car, where you drive it hardly once or twice in a year, does not make any sense to purchase that. Am I right?
Yes.
Yes.
So it's the same thing with your systems also. Now, this was the biggest disadvantage we had with physical infrastructure, wherein I cannot increase the resources, scale up my resources as per the need, and scale down them as per the need. And this is where cloud vendors came in and said, you guys keep running your applications as it is. Whenever there is a need, I will help you to scale up the resources. And once your job is done, I will scale down to the minimum level what you want me to. So this way, we will be having a check on your resources. We will be having a check on the cost of it. So this is why cloud is playing a very dominant role in the market today. If I am a project manager and then I want to work on a project, so what I will do is I'm going to give both physical infrastructure and the cloud infrastructure as an option for the end user. And the major difference that comes up is at least 60 to 70% of cost reduction with cloud, at least 30 to 40% reliability with cloud, 40 to 50% scalability with cloud with very less downtime. So all these are the important factors which play a very, very key role when we start talking about cloud. I'll take a pause. Any questions on this so far?
No.
All good?
Yeah.
Yes.
Perfect. Perfect. So now, apart from this, what does cloud give us? I'll just give a little brief and then get into the different types of cloud. So apart from this, what else does cloud give you as a benefit?
Convenience.
Okay. And you said convenience. So how can you just define a one-liner for it?
Um, like you said, if you need more, if you
Mhm.
if your company is starting to grow and you need more compute, you can pay the cost of it and scale up. And if you don't need it anymore, you can scale it down. If you decide your business is not booming, you can scale down. If you begin to run out of also if your company is a sub company working for another company, it's important that they keep their uptime is always up. So you have reliability. Yeah, reliability. What about this? How did you describe high availability? Would it be considered the same or
That's a separate topic. You can always get high availability.
okay?
What about now that you don't have the physical servers or physical data centers, you don't have to worry about downtime for weather or downtime for lack of power if there's something like that. So I don't know if there's a word for that, but
High
going to the
availability. That's
cloud.
that's high availability.
Okay.
Oh, to piggyback off of that, you don't have to worry about spending money on hardware that was only useful for specific projects. And if you get new projects, you won't have to worry about spending a considerable amount of money to make the upgrades.
Perfect. This one, everything is correct. I'm very happy with all these answers. There is one thing what you're missing on inconvenience. Web UI for managing the ops. Am I right?
When you say UI, you mean user interface?
Yes. Your website, aws.com. So aws.amazon.com/console. So when I log into the console, I am only on a single web page managing everything what I need. Am I right?
Yes.
Yes.
So if you talk about a physical infrastructure, you have to log into multiple sessions, multiple places for managing the infra. Whereas in cloud, everything is under one umbrella for me. I really don't need to go ahead and then start looking for where is my storage, where is my networking, where is my physical server, where is my application, where is my database. Everything is for you under one umbrella. That makes your job as an admin very, very easy. Do you guys agree?
Yeah.
Yes.
And the second thing is the biggest problem what we see in today's world is you don't have a server or a test setup to play around with things before it goes into production. Am I right?
Correct.
You might have seen this problem wherein okay, I'll take the example of a car again. Let's say you have a new car coming into the market. Will the car vendors give every of one of the citizen a car for a week's time to test it?
No.
They might hardly give you a test drive for, let's say, 1 or 2 miles. Am I right?
Yeah.
And
Correct.
after that, can you evaluate the entire performance of a car with just a very small ride?
No.
No.
No. But again, we end up in purchasing it, and after purchasing it, you might have a lot of things that are coming up. Hey, why did I take this car? This is not good. This could have been improved, and all the other stuff. Am I right?
Yes.
Similar problem is what we see with your server management also. Not every time every organization will have enough budget with them for giving you a test setup to play around with it and then come up with situations which say, okay, this could be a bad option for me. Am I right?
Yes.
But with cloud, you have that flexibility. The reason being, you have everything that is already pre-developed for you. You just need to deploy that and then test it out, and then go ahead and then deploy it in production if everything looks good in test. And cloud gives you this option. Even the organizations allow you for doing this. The reason being, you're not paying upfront huge cost for anything here. You only deploy the instances, work on it, and pay for the amount of time you have utilized the resources. Make sense?
Yes.
Any question on this? Okay, silence is golden. So different types of clouds. So any idea when I say different types of clouds, what do I mean by it?
Okay, are you talking
Capacity?
like AWS or Azure and GCP?
Okay, capacity, Azure, GCP. Okay, anything else?
Is there a size component there?
Okay. When I say types of clouds, I intend to call them as types of clouds because everybody will have their own way of calling it out. But I intend to call them as types of cloud for one reason, and that reason is how can you deploy your infrastructure? And when I say that, public cloud, private cloud, and hybrid cloud. Did you ever hear about these three terms?
I've heard of public and private, but not hybrid.
Okay, these are called as types of clouds or deployment models or models of clouds. Every person will have their own way of calling them out. Deployment models is one way. Deployment of cloud is one way. Types of clouds is one way. You can refer them in any ways, and this is what they call. So, what do you understand by public cloud?
That it's available to everyone?
And so, when I say everyone, what do we mean by everyone? Now let's think about it. Okay, think about this. Answer this with this mindset. You are working for an organization, and define below terms for the organization. Make sense? You follow my question?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So now when I say public, what do you mean by public?
Everyone in the company has access to it?
Very good. Next, what is private?
Only certain employees have access to it?
Can I say certain departments?
Sure.
Okay. And what is hybrid? No,
A
you
mix
should
of
be
the
knowing
two.
the answer.
Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't.
Or maybe certain,
Common departments have the access. Example, HR and finance teams.
On the hybrid?
That's hybrid.
Okay.
So now let me break this up. In a better way for you guys to understand. Now public cloud, everyone in the company has access for. So let us say you have got a 10,000 employee base. So all the employees will have the access for public. Will have the access for aws.amazon.com, and they'll be able to log into it. Now, if you give access for all the 10,000 employees, a similar access or a same kind of access, what will be the flip side of it? I'll repeat my question.
Yeah, can you repeat it?
You have a company where you have 10,000 employees working. So if I open my entire AWS or cloud profile to all the employees as a public cloud, what will be the flip side of that?
It can become vulnerable to I would say vulnerable to
Don't think too much. It's a very simple question.
The flip side will be private?
No, what will be the problem if I do that?
Oh,
you can end up with downtime
No.
or you could use up resources.
it won't be
Yes.
secure?
It's no secure, and all those things are different for me. One statement what you told is correct. Use of resources, and what will that negatively affect the organization?
It would affect the way everything
You're
is being
thinking-
run. It affects the
you're
way
thinking-
people do their job.
You're thinking too much. It's a very baseline question. When you increase your resources, you're increasing your cost. Am I right?
yeah.
Correct.
So that is what I am trying to control using cloud. Am I correct?
Oh, okay. Yes.
So now if I have the same kind of access to all 10,000 employees, and then they start playing around with it, and they know the billing is not on their head because it is a company's account. So is the company not ending up in paying a lot of money?
Yeah, they will be.
Yeah, so this is not, and this does not lead to a point of private cloud, nothing to do with public and private here. So this has a different term. So this has a different solution for it, which we'll be talking about slowly. But yes, when I say public cloud is never, I mean, it's technically not applicable for a company in
Okay.
terms of the accessibility part of it. From the outside world, I might be calling it as a public cloud, but I will not open it up as a public cloud for everybody. I will have my own restrictions for every user there. So public cloud, the definition what you guys told is absolutely right. But when we refer this to an organization or a company level, things change there. We'll talk about that in a while. When I say a private cloud, this is more applicable for financial institutions where uh, the organizations say that I will not trust the security of your data center. I want everything to be deployed in my data center. I'll pay you the amount, whatever you want for deploying the infrastructure. And when I say deploying the infrastructure, we are talking about constructing or deploying a data center, which has the power capabilities, network switches, storage switches, your storage consoles, your normal servers, all of them will be built in my data center. And then I want your team to manage my data center, and they'll be sitting in this premises or wherever you want to, but again everything will be with me. So that is called as private. Lastly, hybrid. Again, this is every organization uses this approach, but none of them come out in open stating that we will use this. And when I say when I say hybrid, it's a simple mixture of public and private. Now, let us say you are working for a company which is trying to host, or which is trying to work on a website for the next FIFA World Cup. This website will talk about will take care about the logistics part, the ticket reservation part, your food, everything is something what you guys are developing on. If at all your developers write the code, can you directly launch the code on a production server without testing it?
No.
No. So you need to have you need to test your code properly before you go onto it. So you would also need a kind of a development server or a development setup. Am I correct?
Correct.
Yes.
So now, before you go into production, you need a development setup. So that will become your public cloud, whereas your production will become your private cloud. So a mix of both of them together are called as hybrid. Making sense?
Yes.
And again, the infrastructure in both of these scenarios are maintained by the local, or maintained by the company who wants the setup to be established. Majority of the times, financial institutions go with this route, and they would say that I have the infra available here. So whenever we talk about hybrid and the public component inside hybrid, an AWS employer sitting outside the organization can also work with this particular infrastructure to help the team. But if there's any problem with your private, the employee will not be given the option to log in from outside. They will have to be on premises for troubleshooting the problem. Making sense?
Yes.
Any questions on this?
Oh, yeah.
Good. And when we talk about we had points where we said that access to everybody, the company and everything. So this is called as identity access management. You might have heard this term. So in your current, if you have exposure or experience on Linux administration, so in Linux administrations, do I have something called as user management?
Yes.
What does it do for us? Why is user management important?
Okay.
For security,
Yes.
Okay, and
access.
okay. Do you guys ever think that it is used for auditing also?
Yes.
And how can I use it for auditing?
So that you can keep track of
Who
the
logged
things.
in, who messed around with my environment, what has happened here, what is going to happen down the line. So we know that if Anil is logging into a server, and if he is not authorized to do something, he should not be doing it, correct? But
Correct.
if he does that, and then there is a negative impact for because of his actions, so there is a possibility that the environment will go for a toss, and then we will not be able to work on that. Correct.
Correct.
So now, if I log in with a generic username, I like root and then do my actions, will I know who is doing what?
Yes.
No.
No.
See,
But if you you saying if you're not auditing
no.
or
Yeah.
don't,
Let me repeat my statement. If I am logging in as a generic user called as root, if we have 10 employees in the project working on the project, and if all of them log in as a root, will you be able to identify
no,
which employee did a
no,
mistake?
no, you won't be able to.
Yeah, so to overcome all these problems, we define user management, wherein we ensure that every action performed by a employee is tracked, it's audited. If something goes wrong, you have a single point of questioning, wherein why did you do this? Make sense?
Yes.
Okay, so when I highlighted this, this will be one of the topics what we'll be discussing in depth in our next class. What is identity management? How do you provide? I'll create couple of users. I'll give you access for managing it. So this is where you play a role in terms of public, private, or hybrid. Don't call them public, private, hybrid clouds. We call them public, private, hybrid accessibility. So within an organization, if you want a specific team to have public access, we'll give them public access, which means that they can do anything and everything inside the infrastructure, like an administrative user. If it's a private access, we restrict the access of those users to a specific set of operations or commands they can execute. When I say hybrid, there could be few users who might need elevation as an administrator whenever required, and then we provide them that access at that point in time. So in reality, this is how you configure your access management as well. And based on this, you grant the access for different users. Make sense?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, on the lab setup and everything from this Thursday. So I'll be talking about more on what are the, okay, let me talk about the resources now. So we don't need to wait for another class for it. So our main focus of things will be on EC2, wherein once I cover all the, you'll be see most of the topics, what you see on the left pane here, we'll be completing most of them. And once we complete them, you will be sufficient enough to complete your certification, also be called as an AWS admin. And trust me, once you complete AWS course, and when we get into Azure, things will be pretty much easier for you. And then, I'm sorry, guys, and the only the terminology changes for us with Azure, but things would be similar for us, and then you'll be able to quickly understand the differences between both the cloud formats. But yeah, coming to our discussion points, you guys might ask, Anil, what will you cover? What all you see here: instances, images, elastic block store, your network and security, load balancing, and auto scaling. These are all the topics what we will be covering, and we'll be doing labs for each and every topic what I talk.
Okay.
And completing this will literally help you to be good in the market in terms of your cloud roles. Apart from this, if any one of you are interested for advanced topics like your AWS DevOps, which includes learning few more topics, we can cover them, but this is good enough to start your cloud journey.
Okay.
Okay, good. Now, what did I say I'll be talking about? I forgot. I did say we'll talk about something when I came to the home page. Do you guys remember what I thought of telling you?
I just heard you say you were going to be covering all the different topics off to the side.
Yeah, but I said there's something what I wanted to cover now, where I don't want to wait till tomorrow the next class.
Um, it's,
Okay, fair enough. I don't remember. I don't want to waste my time on that.
Mhm.
Okay, so did every one of you create your own accounts?
I have one from the other time. Or I have to create a different account now? This is good, Joe.
If it's a free account, that is good for me. When I say free account, whenever you create a new account free of as a free tier one, you will be getting 1 year worth resources that you can utilize without paying even a single dollar to AWS. If you have that kind of an account, and if you have created an account which is less than 1 year, then you can use the same account. If not, then create a new account. It needs a new email ID and a new credit card.
Okay. I think mine they start charging already. Can I cancel and reopen it again?
You can't reopen it again. You have to create a new account.
Oh, then I'll manage what I have now. I think it's better.
Yeah. That's up to you. Well, that's
Yeah.
up to you, because whatever I give you, or whatever, when I train this, I'm going to use only the servers that are free tier eligible. So you'll not
Oh.
have a huge cost coming up anyways. Only if you forget to shut down your instances, then you would be charged. Otherwise, I take classes for around 5 or 6 batches every month, and then use AWS deploying resources. I do get a bill of a max of around $4. Fair enough?
Yeah.
Cool, guys. Thank you for your time today, and I hope you got some insights into what we'll be learning, and then you understood few things clearly which you might not be known earlier. But we will be talking about more like this, and then my sessions don't restrict only to the bookish knowledge, like complete the course. I'll be giving you real-time scenarios, explaining it to you in a way where you will not forget it anytime.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, cool, guys. Thank you so much.